What up, love muffins? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's Love and Hip Hop New York review. We're on episode 9. I give tonight's episode a C minus. It was cool for the most part. It gave me some moments that I could live for. So let's get into some of my top moments from tonight's episode. The first thing that stood out to me was Mandisi's new assistant, Remy. I don't know if the chick name is Remy Martin, Remy on Deluxe, Remy on the Rocks. I don't know what the fuck her name was, but her and Mandisi was sitting up there talking, and Yandy made a pop-up visit, and when Yandy popped up, she turned and looked at Mandisi like, "There your bitch. There your eating ass baby mama. There your baby mama go." And I was looking like, oh, that's the side eye you give a motherfucker when you got the inside joke on what's going on in their relationship, because this nigga been talking about their relationship to you, or y'all fucking something going on that ain't right. I ain't like that side eye. And Yandy, you better punch that bitch now that you ain't pregnant, because I ain't like that side eye. You better punch your nigga too. And Yandy come in and the girl stand up and hug her after she just side-eyed her fake ass whole shit. And Yandy looking at Mandisi like, why is this bitch hugging me? I want my baby having this aura, that negative aura, this thought aura on my baby. And the girl, everybody sit down, and Yandy like, so what you doing here? And the girl like, well, I'm his assistant. And she like, oh really? Because nobody told me that there was any assisting going on around here. And she like, so this how you come to work dressed? And the girl was dressed inappropriately, but then again, for the record industry, I can see it a little bit. She on a crop top and a pencil fitted pencil skirt or whatever. It was a bit much, and I know I would be feeling some type of way if Mandisi is my nigga and he had this bitch walking around him all day dressed like this. It's a little bit too much for me. And so Yandy talked to him about it. She basically like, you need to fire this hoe. And he was like, I'm not firing her. And Yandy was like, well, shit, you want me to do it, nigga? Because I mean, if it's easier, I'll do it. I'll call her in here like, what you want? What you need done? You're like, I'm not firing nobody. If we want to get to firing motherfuckers, I'll get to firing your staff. And she like, okay, so if you ain't gonna fire it, I need to have a one-on-one woman-to-woman talk with this hoe. And so the next thing, Johnny meets up with Rich to talk about the fight from last week's episode. And like I said last week, I thought that her attitude was justified because Precious was totally in the wrong. Did she have to hit the girl? No. I think that was a bit much. She didn't have to put her hands on her, but the bitch wasn't listening. So I guess maybe she felt like she had to shake the shit out of the bitch to get her to listen. I didn't feel like Johnny was in the wrong for the way that she reacted. Precious was just asking for it. But as I was sitting there watching Johnny and Rich talk, all I could think of is I was just looking at her as she spoke and just looking at the arch in her teeth and her fanged teeth and her dick sucker lips. And I was just like, Drake fucked her? Like, really? Like, this is what Drake goes for? It seemed like nowadays we just living in a society that if you got a small waist and a fat ass and some hips, like, anybody can get it. Like, you can be touched. Like, you will be fucked. You will be wifed up for a week and get an Hermes Birkin bag and a trip to Canada. And I'm just like, it don't matter how your face look, how your mouth look. She got dark areas around her lips and shit. I'm like, Drake, like, really? Oh, I guess I'm just a shoe-in then. Like, I guess I'm just like that bitch. Well, I ain't got no ass or no hips, and I ain't got a flat stomach, and I ain't got a small waist, but I guess I can get it. Drake, call me. And then we move on to Tara meeting up with Amina, and Amina spilling the tea about all the hoes that Peter was fucking before her, with her, after her, in the BCA area, like all this shit. Like, he been fucking hoes since Jesus was walking the earth. And Tara's just so fucking shocked by it. She's like, oh, like, really? I'm like, girl, you know this nigga was fucking more than just a mean. Like, you cannot be this stupid, bitch. Like, stop it with the theatrics. Everybody knows Peter was slinging dick all over the Upper East Side. Like, bitch, stop it with the foolishness. Anybody in these welfare hoes with dirty feet is giving this nigga pussy. So Tara, stop it with the foolishness. And then later on in the episode, she goes and confronts him on this bullshit. And I'm just looking at her like, you claim to be so over him, but every time some new news come up, you got to go and confront this nigga and be in your feelings about it and scream and holler and cry and all this bullshit. You supposed to be over him. Why do you give a fuck if he was fucking hoes while y'all was together? You ain't fucking with him no more. Go get an STD test, bitch. Go get an AIDS test and make sure that shit come back negative. If the shit come back positive, that's when you go upside that nigga head. Other than that, you have nothing to talk to this nigga about. Get the fuck over it, little boy in a dress. Then Yandy meets up with Remy, and Remy done changed her whole entire look. First, she had red hair, and she looked like a walking Instagram boutique. Then she came back looking like Yandy. She came in there with some orange Indian chief's wife outfit on, and her hair was black. She had some long ass weave, looking like Yandy #2, looking like Bandy. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And Yandy like, really, bitch? Like, stalked me much? Like, what's going on here? And she was going in on the girl about, you know, her not being qualified to work for Mendices and not dressing appropriately and how she can hire and fire who she wants to. And at first I was riding with Yandy until she got to doing all that. I can fire you. I can hire you. I make the decision around her. I run this shit. Because when Chrissy was on the show and Chrissy was treating you the same way you're treating this young lady, I was riding with Yandy in that situation. I felt like Chrissy was doing way too much. She was being insecure, she was being jealous, and she was feeling like Yandy was trying to fuck her nigga. And now I feel like life is repeating itself, and now Yandy is doing the same exact thing that Chrissy did to her to this young lady, and I didn't think that was right nor fair. Now, should she have said something to the girl about the way she was dressed around her nigga? Yes, of course. But how they handle their business, that's on that nigga. As long as he ain't fucking this bitch and she ain't getting out of line, and you don't have nothing to say to this girl. Let him run his own goddamn business until some shit pop up where a bitch needs to be checked. So Yandy, I didn't like that shit. Maybe it was because you was fat and pregnant that you was losing your mind and all up in your feelings, but Then at the end of the episode, Rich takes Precious to go and try on some outfits at some store, and they dressed her in some Zoolander-ish outfit. Didn't nothing go together. She looked a mess. And then Johnny comes in trying to apologize to the girl, and Paris was just waiting on a moment to pop this girl, and she tried to pop her and missed. Next thing I know, Johnny grabbed this bitch and yanked her all around the damn store. And I'm like, how you go to hit somebody first and you still get beat up? The person that hit you or hit first always wins the fight. Like, bitch, how did you fuck up this shit? Like, I was like, Paris, stop it, girl. This girl gonna beat your ass. This is a human alligator. Like, stop it, girl. So, that was my review of Love and Hip Hop New York. I just put up a 25 questions tag video if you want to watch and learn more info about me, because she's cute. See you all tomorrow night for Being Mary Jane. Wednesday, Empire. Thursday, Scandal. Follow me on Twitter at Keisha Irvin, KeishaErvin, or on Facebook at Keisha Irvin as well, where I do my live commentary on all the black shows. Love you. And if you have a question for Ask Keisha and Mo, send it to askkeishaandmo@yahoo.com. Love you much. Have a great night.